the Mother Teresas and the Maria Sabinas, you know, all of these people, and the Terence McKennas, you know, they all told us, everything is inside. The answers to your issues are there.
Mm.
Stop trying to go out and find everybody else's fucking problem, right? Go in, figure out your own, work it out amongst, you know, in your own life, and then move outward. We got all these people trying to solve everybody else's problems, and have you looked at their own life?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder we're in a situation of absolute chaos. What we need is people to take care of their own lives first, right? Make their own circle sane and healthy and happy, and take care of their children. And you know, this is what I mean.
Sure.
And then move outward. You know, it's all about circles. It's all about orbits. My radio show is RadiOrbit, right? It's the reason, because nature works in circles.
Sure.
And the first circle is you. You get your own circle fucking straight, right?
Yeah,
and
sure.
Before you start to expand your circle. And then you do so. And you be careful who you let in your circle, you know what I mean? And you be smart, and you be all those things that we've talked about. But then you do that, and you can have a good life, and we can make a better world for at least ourselves.
Sure.
You know? I mean, if not everybody else. But, I mean, you have to make a good life for yourself first.
And then, of course, there is the, you know, if
How can you be solving the world's problems if you can't even breathe and you don't have a blanket?
Yeah, sure. And
you know, you got somebody pissing on you in the street. You know, the level of human misery that we as human beings put up with our fellow men being in is sickening. And this is what people should be upset about, what people should be blowing bullhorns about, not the fact, you know, not the fact that, you know, that armies as always and scumbags as always have been pulling their tricks. There's nothing new.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Big deal.
That's a good.
Anyway.
Yeah, sure. I mean, and then of
and
course.
It's Easter. You know, you got me on a day, Henry.
Ishtar, yeah, happy Easter. I mean,
you know,
it's a great
Easter.
time. Yeah.
And these people are dropping bombs and talking all their Christian bullshit.
Yeah,
you know?
sure. Yeah.
Come on. Call people out for what they are. And the same thing with Muslims or Jews or blacks or whites or I don't give a fuck. You know? People are good people or they're not.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You take care of children or you don't. You respect women or you don't. You know? There's no big discussion about it. You know? There shouldn't be any big debate about it. It's just the way it is, and people know it, and they try to cover it up with a whole bunch of makeup and crap, to keep people from thinking about it, you know, and to do something else. But the fact of the matter is, you know, whether you admit it or not, the psyche knows it. You know, the psychology of the human mind and the, you know, the oversoul, the archetypes of our species. It knows, and this is what's kicking in right now. It realizes that the species has gone as far as it can go, you know, without being a tremendous danger to itself and the others around it, the other species on this planet. And so, you know, the governor is kicking in. You know, it's like a thermostat, and it doesn't matter what George Bush does or any of these other guys. They are not in control. They think they are. That's the whole joke of the matter. Right? And they're being shown as not in control, right? Hey, guys, you're not in control, right? Watch me. Watch what I'm going to do right now. Henrique, you know what I'm going to do? I'm in the middle of Columbia, Missouri. Okay, this is a historic event. We're talking on World Wide Web radio, right?
Yeah.
And the FCC, which waves a big flag in this country, you know what the FCC is?
No, who are they?
In this country, right, there's a thing that's called the Federal Communications Commission.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? And basically what they want to do is put a condom over a microphone.
Okay.
Right? And what I'm telling them is that you can't spread disease with profanity, right? And you can't spread disease with intellect and with intelligence, right? And like I say, we're on the radio here. I'm talking to my friend Henrique. We've been talking as friends all day, basically, right? This is you know, we're not being very formal about our whole business here. And you know what I'm going to do, Henrique?
No.
I got my favorite pipe, my chanupa, that I call it. I got some lovely green, illegal. They try to make a plant illegal. That's just silliness.
Yeah.
How do you make a plant illegal?
How do
right?
they do
You're
that?
fucking illegal, buddy. All right? What do you think of that? Anyway, I like my plants, all right? And I'll grow whatever the hell I want to grow.
Yeah,
right? And I'm going to, right here in Missouri, I'm going to fill my pipe, and I'm going to say, here's to you, my friend Henrique, for doing your thing and for allowing me to share my... You hear that?
There we go, yeah,
Right here in mid-Missouri, okay?
Sure.
Screw them if they don't like it. Right? In other words, I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah, sure.
Right? How much do I have to do to show people that there really is no control? I mean, what do you have to do? People just have to realize it, Henry.
Yeah.
Right? And so I do my thing here in the radio station.
Sure.
You know, I'm the vice president on the board of directors here. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I write letters to the paper here in town.
Uh-huh. Oh, really?
You know what?
Yeah.
They ignore me. They don't even respond.
Let's talk about that.
That's okay. See, it's okay because it's fine. I don't care if they respond. In other words, I'm putting it in their face, you see?
Sure.
In other words, the point is I still do my thing.
Mm. Yeah.
And I talk shit about them. I tell people what a joke the journalists are.
Mm.
I talk about what a joke the papers are. That they're just a bunch of silly monkeys, right? That think they're all big shit. That don't know the truth if it kicked them in the ass.
Sure.
Right? They're too busy peddling bullshit. And worried about their fancy degrees and all this stuff.
Sure.
Right? Well, that's okay. They can do that. But I'm not going to act like there's something that they aren't.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I mean, obviously, to sit around and wait for the, whatever mainstream media to pick up on something, as we said earlier, is a waste of time, and for them to, it is we who inherit them with the authority to tell us how things are or not. And I totally agree with, totally phasing them out and do your thing and whatever. I mean, that's the...
And again, you have to recognize that they're dangerous. I realize this. Mm-hmm. Right? And so you have to be smart, Henrique. Right?
Mm.
You have to be smart. And there are a lot of people who aren't. And that's unfortunate for them.
Sure. I mean, you had...
I mean, and my, and I empathize, all right? I realize what it's like to be in a difficult situation. But we do make our own worlds, right? We are responsible for our actions.
Sure.
We do lay in the bed that we make. And if you're in deep shit, well, you probably deserved it. Now you got to figure out how to get out. Right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's the way it goes.
Right. And all these clowns that that are peddling their stuff, 9/11 and all this stuff, they're in deep trouble, Henry.
They are, yeah, indeed.
And they're going to need all their money. You know what's going to happen? They're just going to end up getting the web metaphor is perfect. They're just going to end up being like wound up in their own web, and they're just going to be flies that we just all walk right over. We don't even pay attention eventually.
Yeah.
Because we're going to realize, slow but sure, and hopefully this is what's moving towards this whole 2012 thing, we're all going to start to realize that we can do what we want.
That's very good. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah.
And if what you want is something that's really nasty for somebody else, well, you're probably going to get yours, pal. Right? And if what you want is good for you and for other people, and you're trying to do your best and trying to learn and trying to, do your thing, trying to be a good person. It's not that, it sort of goes back to, where it's Easter, right? It goes back to the Christian idea, the real ideas of Christ, right?
Sure.
What was it? Was feed the hungry, clothe the naked, care for the sick. There's nothing in there about big fucking institutions or any of this other shit. It's about helping people. Take care of your fellow man, right?
Yeah.
And so for people who want to do that, in the midst of a culture that makes it very difficult to do that, right? Those people, I think, will be all right eventually, and can be comforted in the idea. I think this. In other words, I think the days of the nice guy finishes last. I think that's about over. I think the nice guy finishes first is about around the corner here, and it's about damn time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
It's about time, and it's about time we show all these assholes up for what they are.
Yeah, and
then watch them just cower away, because they really are just chicken shit. And they're like 10-year-olds with shotguns. And luckily, like I said, something has happened. Something has happened. And again, we've got the whole spider metaphor going on today, and I like it because it's a Native American story that I'm very partial to, that I love.
Mm-hmm.
And all of nature. The lesson here is that you can have friends that are not necessarily human. You can have relationships with other species, right? And the spiders,
mm-hmm.
they can spin a web, but they can also tie things up, muck up the machinery, as it were,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think is going on. These guys can't pull the trigger if they want.
That's
because,
right.
Henrique, they would.
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, guys like you and me are dangerous, man. If we keep doing what we're doing, they're not letting us do it. We're doing it, baby.
Yeah, sure.
No one's letting me do anything. I'm doing it because I'm telling them fuck off. Right?
Yeah, sure.
And this is the absolute death knell of these people. So don't think that they wouldn't pull the trigger if they could. They can't. I don't know why or how. Maybe it is God. Maybe it is Gaia. Call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Something supernatural is at work. Maybe the ghosts of our ancestors, that we deny exist. Maybe they're actually helping us. So, frankly, that's what I think is happening. But that's a Native American bent on things, and through my own experience of what my own experiences of my life.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
But this is what I think is happening. I think that the spirit is back. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And spirit, can trump the physical any day.
Yeah.
It just has to decide to. You just have to get enough spirit's interest. The spirits out there that are floating around, dead people or whatever, right? They're not interested in you if you're not interested in them. Well, they care. They got better things to do. Just like the plants and the animals. If you don't pay any attention to the plants, you think they're going to pay any attention to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course not.
Yeah.
The laws of human behavior apply. You have to be nice.
Sure.
You have to want a relationship. You have to work at it. We can have relationships with other things than just human beings. We can have relationships with other things than just living human beings. We can have relationships with dead human beings. We can have relationships with dead animals and living plants and the whole business. We just need to open our eyes and open the scope of our understanding a little bit more,
Yeah, sure.
But it's becoming apparent because the human species, obviously, 9/11 was sort of like the bell ringer. It was like we're in deep trouble. And if this continues, it's going to be over probably because the technology, we mentioned a little bit earlier, Henrique, that it's not. It's sort of business as usual, but not. The monkeys don't realize what's actually happened because the technology is the big wild card here.
Yeah.
And a long time ago, you could just run over the hill and bonk the guy on the head with your stick and claim the water hole.
Sure.
But now, in other words, you didn't have the ability to wipe out everything, right? After 1945 or whatever, not only did we actually develop the ability to destroy a whole lot of stuff, and I'm not arrogant enough to say that we'll destroy everything because we can't, and the world will survive regardless of what we eventually do.
I think so
and
too.
And she'll roll on to her next, metamorphosis, whatever that is.
Sure, yeah.
But I'd like to see us have, I don't want to see us all die and see our species fade away. In other words, our ancestors, yours and mine, up there in the great Northlands, they went through a tremendous amount of difficulty to get us here.
Sure.
And we are not going to drop the ball, Henry. Right?
Yeah.
And as much as some people want to drop it, well, we're not going to drop it. And guys like you and me and the amazing people that both of us are privileged to, share our time with and talk to.
Sure, yeah.
That's why we're not going to drop the ball.
Yeah.
In fact, we're holding tight.
Yeah, and hopefully, that, again, more and more people